Well, hey guys, thanks for coming. So I'm super excited for today. So I'm gonna start in about 4 minutes. So just sit tight, basically. Yay! Okay. So Guillermo, Berenice, Elena, Jimena. Hi guys. Woo. Okay. Diana. Hi. Luis Angel. Guillermo no funciona. Ok. Ah, okay. Just checking this. Full screen. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna start now. So, hi everyone. Welcome to our last transition webinar. Woo! Also sad. Um, so, because we have to use Google Hangouts to record this, we're going to talk on WhatsApp. So anytime you have questions or something doesn't work, or especially if the PPT is not showing, please use WhatsApp to tell me. I'm going to try to check often, but if the PPT does not work, let me know. So Hello, welcome to our last session. The topic today is actually team management and what team structures you should have. So, first, I want to ask everyone, how are you feeling? And this time, instead of an animal, I want a superhero. So, for example, today I'm feeling like I think Wolverine from the X-Men. Today I had my team day with my operations team. So that's IGCDP, OGIP, uh, IGIP, and TXP. So today we went to Chapultepec, and it felt really, really good because we're very stressed, but it was very relaxing. So that's why I feel like Wolverine, because he is part of a team, he's part of the X-Men, and it's a very good team. So I feel really, really happy with my team. Now I just want to ask in the WhatsApp group, how do you guys feel? So Elena says Batman because I don't know. He's my favorite superhero. Awesome. Oscar de Monterrey feels like the Flash because I finished two final projects in 3 hours. Holy shit, that's a lot of work. Oh my god. Jesus Spider Man. Okay, awesome. All right, so keep typing your superheroes there, and I can like update them throughout the webinar. So today we're going to review a few things. So it is a lot of information, but I will try to be very clear about it. So on today's agenda, we're going to quickly review last week's homework. I'm going to go through some important reminders about things you guys should know. And then I'm going to explain the growth model. This is a big concept, but it's very, very useful, especially for planning your teams. So I'm also going to show you what OGCDP teams should look like. And then after is team management, where I'll talk about team minimums. And then the last part is homework time, our last homework. And it's also going to be fun because after this, I want to have a one-on-one with all of you. So I want to talk to everyone. And that's part of the homework. So, more superheroes. Jimena feels like Mystique because she can transform into anything she likes. And today she has to manage a lot of different things. And Ana Lee feels like La Mujer Maravilla. Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to go to the first thing, which is the homework review. So first I want to ask, does anyone want to share their homework? So I just asked in the group if anyone wants to share about their homework or anything they did. But before that, I'll just share more superheroes while we're waiting. Luis Angel is Batman, Never Retreat, Never Surrender. Danny Yao is Iron Man, Iron Woman. Diana, Iron Man. because he always gets results. Guillermo is Marmotman, best superhero ever. Yeah. And Diana wants to be the Flash, like Oscar, and finish early. Rebecca is Captain America. Oh, sweet. Okay. Berenice, Batman. Cool. So, while you guys share, I'm just gonna highlight a few things that I saw. So the main thing I saw from Luis Angel, Elena, and Frida was actually signups not contacted. That was the first thing that they analyzed. And then the solution was actually to contact them, meet with them, try to sell OGCDP. So just very briefly, that was my highlight for all the homework, sales. So everyone was actually identifying sales as a bottleneck, as a problem. And Frida's homework from UPE, she also did an information session for lots of people. And that's a kind of sales in terms of like sharing and selling about OGCDP with signups so that they can become EPs. So the specific two things were contacting signups consistently, and then actually when you meet with them, selling very quickly and trying to match them very quickly. So those two things were very similar in everybody's homework. And I think it was awesome because honestly, that is always our biggest bottleneck. It's like finding more EPs, trying to sell OGCDP, trying to get them to match. So I think it's pretty cool. So the main conclusion for that, in my opinion, is know your numbers and know your pipeline. So last webinar, we talked about the whole customer flow and every way to track it and know your numbers. So as VP, the main thing you have to do every single week is look at all your numbers. Are we getting enough signups? Are we phoning them, meeting with them? Are they in progress, match, realize? Those numbers you have to check every single week. And if you are low in one number at the beginning, like signups, then you know that you will be low later in matches. So if you see a low number of signups, then you immediately have to know, okay, we need more signups because we have to solve this problem now so that we have the matches in the future. So just to be very clear, like when you finish your year plan very soon, you'll have your metrics, meaning your numbers to reach every week. And if you do this, like focus every week on the few things like signups and selling to signups as important, then your results will come. You will have EPs to match. But if you do not follow your goals from January, February, then you will find yourself later in March, April with no EPs. And then you'll be like, oh no, we have no matches, we have to match. But you have to work earlier to know, okay, I have to get signups, I have to meet with them, I have to put them in progress in order to get my matches. So really, really just very clear, know your numbers because your numbers at the beginning will tell you how many matches and realizations you will have later. Oh, so some other highlights from the homework. So Ever from Juarez said, we have a lack of matches in the quarter. So he called EPs. That's pretty cool. And so the bottleneck is that we do not follow them well through the process. Yes, Ever, I 100% agree. Sometimes we talk to EPs and then forget about it again to remind the EP that, you know, OGCDP is awesome. Danny Yao said, our percentage of in progress to match is really bad. So that might mean people don't have clear expectations. They don't know that what they want or what they should match to right away. So I would suggest a solution of whoever's in progress, again, meeting with them and being very clear, like, hey, please pick a project and then we will match you to that project right away. So thank you to everyone who did the homework. I understand you had finals and exams, so it was a lot of like a very busy time, but thank you so much. So the next topic here is important things. So very quick reminders. One is the transition and planning. So everyone has a OGCDP transition tracker. It's a GSS where you're supposed to go put yes on every topic that you cover with your VP OGCDP. So I want to remind everyone that this is your responsibility. Like it is not, you have to make sure you get a good transition. So it's your responsibility right now. And these topics are all things you need to know. So please, please, please learn these things, put it on the tracker, put yes or in progress to actually track what you're learning. And for me, this helps me help you because it helps me understand maybe you are lacking one area or you all are very smart in one area. So then we can focus on different kinds of education. So, reminder, the deadline for transition with your predecessor is Friday, December 11th. And also, part of transition is for your LCP, you guys have to finish your entire year plan and budget for 2016 by Tuesday, December 15th. So, this is for LCPs to submit because it's required, but also a reminder to you to really finish your planning and budget. And I also just want to give a huge shout out. So on the transition tracker, we actually track the percentage that you finished for the topics for transition. And Carla is number one with 96%. Woo! Yay, Carla. So Carla on her tracker has almost everything as yes in terms of she finished that topic with her predecessor. So Carla and Aleda with 93 and Danielle with 86. You guys are awesome. You're almost finished the topics you need for transition. So great job there. Just want to congratulate you. So I'm just going to type it in the group right now. Yay, Aleda. Yes, you posted. So just want to congratulate you there. So this is my favorite GIF because Kanye is a genius. I love Kanye. So I think you guys are geniuses like Kanye. I hope that's not an insult. I think it's a compliment. It's just really funny. So you guys are awesome and you know it. So be proud. And if you guys have a low percentage, like I saw some people have 0% or 10%, please start tracking that right away. I know there's exams. So now that exams are finishing, I hope you guys can start learning what you need to learn right away. Next topic is OGX Marketing Summit. So just to be clear, Tamara sent an email to all of you recently, and the OGX Marketing Summit is a one-day conference before Conal, and it's for all VPs, OGCDP, OGIP, and marketing. And the whole day is very important because we're going to review recruitment, like how to plan recruitment, what you should do, and you guys will also have time to actually plan recruitment together. So registration is open. The deadline is Sunday. So please click this link to register for the conference. Right now it's only for VPs because we want to focus on VPs. And for round 2, if we have spots, then we will open it for your members. So you can send your members to also learn about recruitment and marketing and that synergy. Another thing is Conal. So Conal registration is still open. Third round launched. The deadline for Conal is also Sunday. So reminder that if you have members that are not registered, or if you have not registered, please, please, please register. Conal is the fucking best conference ever, and you will love it. So just to clarify, the purpose of the OGX Marketing Summit is training and knowledge to have the best recruitment possible. Marketing is a huge driver for OGCDP. And so I think everyone should attend this summit if you can. I know some people may have already purchased their flights, but please, 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 this is honestly the most useful space you will have. And with you and your marketing, it will allow you to be on the same page. So you have the exact same strategy. Next is a third thing called Mundo Joven webinars. So if you don't know, Mundo Joven is our insurance provider. I met with them this week with Pedro Ortiz, which is my VP Business Development. We met with Sandra. She's awesome. And she really wants to actually have webinars with you guys, you VPs, to explain our insurance, just so you guys understand the details even better. And with EPs, you can sell insurance because the insurance is really good and it's really attractive for EPs. So we're having two webinars, one this week, actually tomorrow at 7. So I really suggest you guys attend because you can learn a lot about our product, because this is actually part of our product, and every VP is required to actually know what the insurance is, because all of our EPs, almost all of them, need insurance, and they will use Mundohoven insurance. So we have one tomorrow and also another webinar on Wednesday. So next week at 7 p.m., we'll also have a webinar. I will make a Facebook event. So if you can attend that too, you can learn everything about the insurance. Cool. So that's everything about the details. So I'm going to move on. If you have questions, please put it in the WhatsApp group. But next, I'm going to move on to something very big and very exciting. I love this. So I'm going to try to explain very clearly. So now I'm going to talk about the growth model and our OGCDP tiers, what it means to have a tier. So first, I want to introduce Juano. So if you don't know, oh, hold on. I'm just answering the question. Cool. So this is Juano. He's my MCVP Organizational Development, or OD. So he's actually my boss, if you don't know. On our MC, we have small teams. Alonso is the president, but for the operations team, Juano is the team leader. So we have the weekly meetings with him and whatever. So his job is to actually make sure that LCs can grow in a very safe way. So in short, organizational development is this: the theory, research, and practice dedicated to expanding the knowledge of effectiveness of people to accomplish more successful organizational change and performance. So it's pretty long, but this is from Wikipedia, and yeah, it's like, what the fuck? So this is what OD means for Isaac. So it's actually figuring out how we, as an LC and an MC, as a country, can grow in a healthy and sustainable way. So if you guys are not sure, like, maybe you're planning to grow in OGCDP, but you don't know how. Like, how can I achieve 60 realizations if my LC now only does 20? And so we have a lot of sharing about, from other LCs who have grown from 20 to 60 to 100. And this is what I want to show you right now. So this is very important for you guys because you guys are planning to grow in OGCDP, and we want to help you make it very clear and easy to show you. It's very easy to grow if you follow a simple pattern. So that is the growth model. The growth model and the development steps are a simple guide for how to plan your activities in OGCDP, your team structures and what you do in order to grow. So there's two things in this model. One is results, or operations, realizations, and the second is people. How can you change your teams so that they actually grow? So are you guys excited? Okay, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show this, which is OGCDP tiers. So take a minute, look at what these tiers mean while I answer a question on WhatsApp. So guys, these are tiers. I don't know the Spanish word, but whatever. So what a tier means is that if these are the number of realizations in the past 12 months, so for 1 year, and this is how we assess an LC and how you guys assess yourself as what kind of LC am I for OGCDP. So tier 5 is the lowest. So as you can see, it's if you have 0 to 19 realizations in the past 12 months, you are tier 5. This generally means your OGCDP is new. It's like young, you have a small team, and you want to grow to the next tier, tier 4, through a certain way. And as you can see, some LCs here are big. So we have some LCs who this year are going to pass 100 realizations. UNAM and IPN, congratulations. So they're tier 2. They have 100 to 159 realizations in the past, 59, in the past year. So now for UNAM and IPN, how can you guys plan your teams so you can grow way more above 160? I'll change that here. So these are supposed to help classify LCs so that we can make it very clear. So tiers are a way to group LCs so that you guys understand, okay, what are my, if we're the same size, like we have the same results, we have similar problems, knowledge, teams, members, resources, solutions. So tiers are really, really helpful because LCs in your tier understand you. You have the same issues. And specifically for growing, tiers help create solutions for how OGCDP teams should work to grow. So for example, like I don't know, a small, like a new team, like an SU. If you just start out in OGCDP, your main problem is actually training and education. Okay, I want to educate all my members first because then my members they don't know anything. They need to do OGCDP. But if you're a bigger LC, you have 20 OGCDP members, you have 3 TLPs, everyone is very good, well educated. Okay, so that's not a problem. What is my new problem? My new problem is actually being very targeted, having people more productive, like an EP manager matching not just 5 EPs, but maybe 10 or 15. So that's why these similar problems will really help in terms of, for you as a VP, like how to manage my team. So I'm going to tell you now for your year planning, some of you may have finished, some of you may have not finished, but I just want you guys to now use these tiers for planning. So for example, if right now you're in a certain tier, so right now you're tier 5. Okay, so in this year, my LC, we did this many exchange. Now for next year, you should plan to be tier 4. And if you want to be tier 4, you should use the tier 4 structure that I will show you very soon. So just to be clear, like if you're tier 5, I'm telling you guys now, do not plan for 100. So I'm going to be very strict. It's much more realistic to plan for tier 4, which is 49, 50, maybe 60, instead of 100. Why? Because it never happens. I have to be honest, like LCs do not grow in this way. The way these tiers are set up are based on history. In all of Mexico, in all the world, LCs do not grow from 20 to 100. They grow from 20 to 50 to 70, then 100. So this is why we need to set very realistic goals. And they're still ambitious. Like we need to be very ambitious. And growing to tier 4, if from tier 5, that's 100% growth. That's amazing growth. Like honestly, I think all tier 5 LCs, you should plan for 100 or 200% growth because that's really good. But I'm telling you now, for your year plans, I will give feedback, and you should not plan to jump 2 tiers. You should plan 1 tier, or maybe 1 tier and a bit. So the same for tier 3, for example. If you're a tier 3 LC and you don't know how to grow or how to do your team, you should plan for tier 2. So plan to be in tier 2, and that way you can use the team structure for tier 2. It's to help you really align this. The same mistake. Hold on. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So that's how we use the tiers. You use them for your planning your numbers and planning your team structure. So now, these are the current tiers. So guys, please take a minute to look at where you are. I see Guillermo, Alicia, Rebecca, you already checked out your tier, so that's awesome. So guys, these are the expected tiers. This means I looked at your matches on Expa. So the year is not finished. So on January 1st, the tiers will be official, meaning that's for the past 12 months, this is what is going to happen. But based on your matches on Expa, this is what we expect. So yes, Alicia, tier 4. So based on this, Alicia, your LC has, I forget the number. I think it's 30 matches. So I think you have 30 matches for the whole year. So that means you will probably have 30 realizations for the whole year. So that's why you're tier 4. It's just based on realizations. Yes, Guillermo, Merida is tier 5. Yeah. because I forget Merida's numbers, but I think you have 17 matches for the whole year. So you will probably have 17 realizations. Unless you do a lot more in December, then you can jump tiers. So guys, moving on, please remember your tiers just to while we go through. So next I'm going to go show you team structures. So I want to be very clear. These team structures are based on productivity, and this is what I highly, highly, highly recommend for your LCs because it helps you keep things simple. However, there is flexibility. So here's tier 5. So for example, a tier 5 LC, if it's kind of like you're new, you should have one team. Guillermo, you have more matches. Okay. I forget the exact number, but yeah, if it's not on Expa, it does not count. So guys, if it is not on Expa, you did not match. That's bullshit. So please, everything on Expa, that is the only thing that matters. So yay, I hope you have more than 17, Guillermo. Thank God, I really hope so. But on Expa, I see the number, I think it was 17. Anyways, so guys, this is the team we suggest. One team with 4 members, and the productivity means the number of realizations that a member does. So it's kind of like how many matches an EP manager does. We expect 4 to 5 exchanges. So if you look here, if every member matches 5 EPs and realizes 5 EPs, then that's 20 realizations for 1 year. That means you went from tier 5 to the very top to tier 4. So with one team, you should have 20 realizations. So I want to be very clear, guys. We need our EP managers to be very smart, and they need to match at least 5 people. If not 5, more, 6, 7, 10. So guys, just the explanation of this is that if you have 10 members right now in your tier 5 and you're not doing 20 realizations, you have a bad team. Your members are not productive enough. Your members need to be very strong. And that's why we're focusing on a good experience, because we need our members, our EP managers, to be very productive. So you can read the text here later, but this is where basically what I suggest. So to be clear, these are the tier 5 LCs. So guys, I'm going to actually have 2 suggestions. One is if you are tier 5 and for 2016, you're planning to go higher, maybe you don't have enough members. If you actually are struggling for members, actually please have one team. Focus on one team, because with one team, you can actually have a really good fruit peak, because one team can do 20, not just in 1 year, but for fruit peak, just for summer. So that's why I'm suggesting you have only one team, just so you can focus your efforts to make these members really good EP managers. Okay? Next, tier 4, 20 to 49 realizations. This is 2 teams. Very simple. TLP C1, C means campus. And then TLP C2, it's second campus. So in tier 4, generally, you should have different campuses. So to be honest, some LCs are really strong. With one campus, you have like 50, 60 realizations. That's wonderful. Honestly, that's great. But I know almost every LC has several campuses. That's why I always recommend divide your teams by campus. So if you see here, if you have a stronger team, then your 1 TLP and your 3 team members for that campus can have even higher productivity. Not just 5, but 5.5 or 6.5 realizations per member, if that makes sense. So for tier 4, I highly suggest this, that you have 2 TLPs and each TLP manages 1 campus. And that's why they focus they align with marketing, because marketing is different on different campuses. And that's why they focus on selling to the students from 1 campus. And so if you're in tier 4, your goal is to have the top, like 50 realizations. Therefore, if you want 50 realizations, then each team must do 25 realizations. So you see here, each team is responsible for 22 or 28 realizations. Okay? Now, here's where you guys have choice. So for tier 4 LCs, if you guys are tier 4 right now, if you have 2 campuses, I highly suggest you have one team per campus. And honestly, do not have three teams. Please don't. Like, if you want to plan for 50 or more, only have two teams because you need to focus. Because it's a lot of work to educate your EP managers and to make your EP managers very awesome. So if you only have two teams, don't have three, don't have four, just two, you can focus all your energy and your TLPs can be very, very strong TLPs. Now, my second suggestion, tier 5. So everyone in tier 5, if you have two campuses, and if you're planning to be in tier 4, so if you're, I'll say an example, Tampico. Okay, I know Tampico has 3 universities. Tampico, this year you're in tier 5, but next year maybe you plan for tier 4, like 50 realizations. So therefore, you should have two teams, and each team targets one campus. So very simple. So if you're in tier 5 right now, you can use a structure from tier 4 because you know you need to because you have two campuses. Okay? And Berenice, you say, I don't have members now. I'm so sorry. So a lot of people don't have members. That's why, where is Puebla? Puebla, you're tier 4. So if you're tier 4, Berenice, you have a choice. You can do one team here because maybe you do not have members. Like you can only have one team. Maybe that's better for you. Or maybe you have two teams because you have different campuses. That's your choice. I can talk to you about it later. But I really want to recommend you should only have two separate teams if you have a team leader that's very strong. So if you don't have members, I actually suggest having one team. And by having one team, you can make these members really strong. And then in second semester, these members can become team leaders. Okay? So next, tier 3. So tier 3 is very simple, 3 campuses. So it's the same thing, like each team has a team leader. Your productivity is even bigger. Before it was 6.5. Now it's 7. It means your members are expected to be even better, and they have to realize 7 or 8 EPs. So very simple. You have 3 campuses. Now there's examples where a tier 3 LC does not have 3 campuses. I'm trying to think of examples like, La Salle maybe is an example. I know they have more than 2, but La Salle has very strong presence on 2 campuses. So maybe La Salle, if you only want 2 teams, that's okay. And your 2 teams can be very, very strong, and you can actually realize way more exchange. But that's your decision. But in general, tier 3 LCs, I know a lot of you have 3 campuses. So by having a team for every campus, it's a lot better. Okay? And again, it aligns with marketing because marketing and sales is different for different campuses. So who's tier 3? Guanajuato, Ibero, Itam, Toluca, León, Sinaloa, Osa, UP. So these are different examples of, like Guanajuato, you guys have one huge university. Maybe you separate your teams by facultad instead of university. Ibero, I know you have Ibero Itam, you guys are very focused on your one university. So you have a very strong presence in one university. Maybe your TLPs are separated by facultad in just one university. So it's your decision. Okay? And now for tier 4, I see here, Chihuahua, Guadalajara, Texas, Laguna, Puebla, Querétaro, Santa Fe, Tabasco, OMX. If you guys are planning to have the tier 3, if you're planning to have 80 realizations, 90 realizations, then you guys can choose. Either you have a tier 3 structure with 3 teams, or you can keep the 2-team structure. Whatever is better for you. Whatever is more realistic. Okay? No problem, Paula. Also rocks. Woo! La Salle. So next is tier 2. So these are the very big numbers. So in tier 2, if you guys can see, under each team, there's a member called CXP. CXP means customer experience. Let me put it here, actually. So customer experience member actually is a special role that's not only an EP manager, but they're responsible for a part of the process. So this is a very common structure. You guys may know it as a matching manager. or standards manager or like podio manager or international relations manager. So that's what it means. It means a member with a very specific job. Because in tier two, if you have 100 EPs, oh my God, it's so much like craziness. So on your team, if you have a member that's responsible, for example, to match EPs, like send them lots of opportunities and make and track every EP to make sure they're matching, that's a very good role because it's very specialized. And for the EP managers, you can see there's 3 EP managers on the team. It makes their job easier because they're managing an EP, but they don't have to provide all the matching. Some other specialized member can provide all the matching information. So that's what it means by the role. The role can be specialized for different things. It could be matching or it could be standards. I recommend matching or standards because those are big bottlenecks. Cool. And also, guys, you could see the productivity is increased again from 9 to 11. So if you want to reach the top of this tier, 160 realizations, each member needs to realize like 9 to 11 EPs. Cool. Okay, who's in tier 2? Only 2 LCs, IPN and UNAM. Woo! So I know right now a lot of LCs have these specialized roles, so they're very good. So for IPN and UNAM, you can use this structure. I know you already have these specialized roles, so that's very good. For tier 3 LCs, you guys, if your goal is for tier 2, if your goal is 150 or whatever, you should adopt this structure. Actually, for the bigger LCs in tier 3, like specifically Juanato, Ibero, Itam, also Upe, I highly recommend this structure because you have a lot of EPs and you need to have someone to specialize in matching or standards. Okay, last, tier 1. Oh my God, I'm talking a lot. So tier 1 is huge. No LC has reached this number before, but the big change in tier 1 is a TLP, customer experience. This means that the specialized roles, like you have so many EPs that you need another team to actually focus on the EP experience. So under this role, there's the by process, IXP, sales, matching, Del is delivery, like standards, whatever it's easier. So I recommend this team. I've seen it work in LCs in other countries, Colombia and Brazil, because this team, TLP, CXP, they're responsible for all 160 EPs. They're kind of like supporting all the EP managers on the other teams. And they're also made of, oh, good. They're also made of, they're made of senior members. So like older members with more experience should do these special roles, basically. Cool. And another thing is that if you're in tier 1 or tier 2, maybe you have more than 3 campuses. Maybe you have 4 or 5. That's okay. You can have one team to actually focus on 1 or 2 campuses because that's very possible. All right. So in tier 1, no one is tier 1, but IPN and UNAM, if you want to use this, if you're planning for more than 160, you can use this structure if you want. It's actually funny because IPN and UNAM, you're both going to reach maybe 140 this year. So that's huge. So congratulations. And also, I know your current structure is not like this. Your current structure is like tier 2. It's like just by campus or facultad. And I think that's great. That means you're even more efficient at your teams. So this is something, Annalie and Dani, you guys can choose to have a special team for customers if you want. All right. So now I finished explaining the tiers, what they mean, and the team structures. So it was a lot. So now I want to ask, do you have any questions? So I just posted in the WhatsApp group. Todo cool hasta ahora. Okay, gracias, Alicia. So we're just waiting for questions. Jimena, what do you think about specialized roles in small tiers? So that's a very good question because a lot of LCs have it. I don't think so. I'll go back here. So here's a tier three, Jimena. So Santa Fe. I know you're probably going to reach this, aim for this tier. I don't think you should have a specialized role. I think every member needs to be an EP manager because you want to do a lot of exchange. So if you focus on your EP managers, they can be very strong and realize a lot of people. However, you have a lot of EPs, Jimena. Like you might have 100. That's so many. So when you encounter that problem, like you have so many EPs, you need to have a big OPS. You need to make sure that all the standards are tracked. When you have those problems, then you can make a project for the member. You can say, okay, these EP managers, you guys manage OPS. Okay, we have to track standards. Okay, maybe you, member, you're in charge of standards now, and you have to help all the other EP managers track standards. So that's why, Jimena, I wouldn't recommend it because maybe your EP managers are so good, you have no problems. Like maybe everything is fine and you have 100 EPs. So I don't think you should have that job because you need to focus on productivity. But if you have problems in March, in April, you can easily make someone a specialist because you need a specialist. So that's why a specialist, maybe they're not matching a lot of EPs. So I think everyone should be EP manager. But if you need a specialist, do it. Like in March and April, if you need one, because maybe you match so many EPs that you need one, do it. Make a specialist role. What's ED? What is ED? Okay. Okay. Next question. Luis Angel, do you recommend dividing it into IR sales recruitment instead of campuses? No. So, to be honest, Luis Angel, which is Toluca? Toluca tier three. Okay. So, if you're tier three, I again, I think it's the same as Jimena. I do not think people need to focus on IR sales or recruitment because everyone has to do it. So, Luis Angel, if you have a really good recruitment, you have like 1 million signups. All of your EP managers must be phoning and selling and meeting with these signups. If you need a good recruitment, you need all of your members to do recruitment. They need to go to the stands, information sessions, saloneos. They need to be recruiting because that takes up a lot of work. So I don't think those specific things need a special person because marketing is actually should organize the recruitment. And so then your members, for the sales, your sales should actually be organized by your TLPs, like making sure that every member has meetings and stuff. For international, so those two things, you should not have a specialist. For international relations, I think that's where you, because you're in Toluca, you should maybe have that. That's your choice. So international relations is basically someone who needs to be responsible for all the LC partnerships from other countries. I recommend that it's the VP's job. So Luis Angel, I recommend you do it, but maybe it's too much work. So in that case, you could have a specialist for matching, which is international relations. It's like the same thing, international relations and matching. So Toluca, you're tier three. So if you plan for tier two, if that's your plan, then you would have a CXP member that's a specialist. And I think I think it's a good idea to have a specialist for IR or matching. So I think that's a good idea. But for sales and recruitment, no. Maybe a member can help organize Podio. Maybe that's something. But every EP manager must do sales and they must do recruitment. Okay. Okay, guys. So those are the questions. If you have more, please ask me whenever you want. Okay. Ooh, how many espectadores? 13. Awesome. So, guys, next I'm going to team minimums. So I apologize, it's more than 1 hour, but I'll try to be short. So I'll go quickly through team minimums, but how to manage your team, everything is team minimums. So you can go through this PDF yourself. Here it is. Just checking. Yeah. So right now, there's a few things. I recommend you select your TLPs very soon, if you can. And with your TLPs, you can go through team minimums in diciembre, porque es más rápido. So what are team minimums? They're the basic things that team leaders must do with their teams to have a great team experience. You guys have probably heard this before, but as VPs, you must do this for all your teams. If you have TLPs, your TLPs must do this with their members. So it's very simple. You must have a team, a clear plan, JDs, job description for every member. Training is a huge problem. Like, you must educate your members very well, and your TLPs must educate your members. Tracking, making sure results are okay every week, and coaching and evaluation. So after a few months, like, evaluate your member to say, how are you doing? You did well, you did bad, what happens? And then reflection, which is developing yourself, and as a member thinking about, okay, how am I becoming a better leader? So who sets the standards? This is a global criteria. So globally, this is what everyone in Isaac follows, because we have to make sure we have great experiences. So based on our entity, so entity meaning Mexico, we can customize it however we want. So in terms of customization, this is where you guys have complete freedom. You can actually decide how to set your team, how to train people, how to track people, how to evaluate your members. As team leaders, this is the most fun and most important part of your job. So very basically, this is a checklist of activities that you should do with every one of your teams. If you have 1 team, 2 teams, 3 teams, to make sure that your team is clear. So very simply, like under team, you must, okay, do you have your members? Do you have purpose, values, rules, weekly meetings, monthly reviews? Do you have a team days where you have fun together? Very basic things, but these are absolutely important. If you do not do them, then your team will not be, very fun. And you want to have like fun members that are engaged. And same with your plan. Do your members have a plan with numbers every week? Do they have key deliverables and MOS every single week, every single month that they have to accomplish? And do they feel ownership of the plan? Do your team leaders understand, okay, I'm responsible for 30 realizations in one campus. Like, how do I do that? How will I get there? And the same thing for JD, training, tracking, coaching. I will not go through this. You can talk with your TXP. But guys, in terms of team management, literally this Excel document with the list, this is everything you should do. If you do all of this, then your team will be awesome. If you do all of this, your EP managers will be awesome, and they will match more than 5 EPs, like 10, 15, because they're having a fun team experience, and they are aware of what they're doing. You guys make this for your teams and help your team leaders to do this so you can track. So here's a tracking tool. So basically making sure that each part of team minimums is actually fulfilled. So by the end of their team experience, everything is 100%. So for example, my team, at the start of my team experience here for team A, I'm 50% done with the team purpose. Maybe I'm missing my weekly meetings. My plan is 67% done. Maybe I'm missing numbers for every member. Yes, Oscar, this presentation is in the email that I sent, and it's also in the drive. I can send you the link again. JD, 75%. Maybe every member, not everyone has a JD. Training, 0%. Okay, you've done no training. But that's okay, because it's the beginning. So next week, you will start training. So very basically, like you guys have to track your progress with team minimums, and your TLPs must track this as well. So I'll just go through this. You can read that later, and that's it. So literally, like, honestly, if you want the best team experience, follow team minimums. These 7 things down here, that's all you need. And the Excel document that is in the drive, you can download that and you can use it with your TLPs. So something I want to be more clear about is that if you have TLPs, your TLPs are your angels. They do everything for you. So as VP, you might not know everything. Maybe you are doing a lot of work. Maybe you're doing recruitment and matching in the beginning of the year. But later in the semester, in March and April, especially, your TLPs should be doing everything. They should be actually managing their team so well, you do not have to worry as much about the operations, just to be clear. So I want to be clear, guys, like this is something, I have NST coaches that will actually be guiding you and helping you with tracking your team. And this is the most important part of your job. Like 100%. I cannot overemphasize this. I'm talking so much. I'm talking about this because it is everything. Like honestly, your TLPs need to follow this because they will have a great experience, and you have to make sure your TLPs are going through everything with your members. Cool. So everything you want to know about team management is team minimums. If there's some things here that are not explained, like, what do I do when a member is not doing well? What do I do if my member is missing meetings? That's something you could talk to me about or your predecessor, because that's a problem we'll all face. So yeah, and that's it. So the last thing to talk about is homework. So the homework this week, I'm very excited actually. So it's pretty basic. The first one is create your team. So I know some of you have already finished your team. I know after my recommendations, maybe you want to change your team structure. So go ahead and do that. I really want you guys to follow these tiers because your teams, it's been proven, these tiers are proof of how to actually properly do OGCP. These tiers have worked in IPN, UNAM, UP, like the big LCs that have grown, followed teams with campuses. So for next week, I want everyone to send their team structure and specific job roles. So guys, this means I want a PPT with the structure and the title of every member. So most titles will be EP manager. That's fine. You do not have to send the JD because the JD is a lot of words. It's a lot of text. Okay, I'll put here specific job titles. Yeah, JDs take a lot of work, so don't do that. You can do that later for your VP TXP. So by Tuesday, just send that. If you're not finished, that's okay. Please send your idea of what you have. If you are finished, if you finished a long time ago, still please send it because it helps everyone understand how they could do their teams. And yes, so guys, Oscar says, I already have my structure, but it's very different than what I explained. So again, the part of Isaac is actually experimenting. So please don't be afraid to send your structure if it's different than my recommendation, because at the end of the day, you decide what your team is. I have a recommendation because it is what has proven to work, but please send it, even if it's very different than what I think, because that's totally fine. We're here to help each other. And also it's like sharing ideas. If you have a new idea for a new type of team, that's awesome. Please share. Cool. All right. So the second homework is my favorite part. I want to be friends with you. So I have not talked to most of you actually. Oh my God. So now that the transition webinars are over, I want to get to know you personally. So not about Isaac, just as friends, because like this is fucking OGCDP. We're a fucking family. So I want to book a one-on-one with everyone. So I will remind you, but please actually book me for 1 hour on this website. This has my calendar. It's open until 11 p.m. every day. So please book me because I want to have a Skype chat and just like get to know you. We can drink beer or not drink beer, whatever you want. We can play Nintendo Smash Brothers, whatever you want. So please book me here. I will follow up to make sure I talk to every single person because I want to meet you before Conal, basically. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And that's it for the webinar today. I want to end with this quote. I love it. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So this is a big thing in OGCDP. Guys, we're fucking passioners. Like we are the biggest program in Mexico. Around the world, everyone loves Mexican EPs because we have the best OGCDP. In the past 5 years, our OGCDP has grown the most in the world. Actually, that's a fact. We went from, I think, like 200 to 1,000 in like annual realizations because we're awesome. But one thing that I think we need to do is, besides just setting a goal, have a plan. Because every year people set a goal of 300, 200. Oh my God, let's do 200. And honestly, like if you don't have a plan to accomplish that, it's bullshit. Like I have to be honest with you. I want to work with you guys on having real plans. So when you guys set a goal of 100, your plan is very clear. Yes, I will fucking do 100 because I know exactly how to do it. And that's what I really want to do with you guys. I think that's something that we need because honestly, OGCDP for next summer, we're going to do 2,000, like minimum. That is exactly what I know. You guys will plan like 3,000, 4,000, and we can do it. Whatever the number is that you guys plan, we're going to do it. But we have to have a very clear step to get there. So that's why I'm really excited, and that's why I love this quote. And yeah, so that's it for the webinar today. Thank you for coming. Do you guys have any questions or like last things you want to say? Tudo bem? Tudo cool? Yeah, I talk about drinking, but honestly, guys, I really suck at drinking. Like, I do not drink a lot. I cannot drink a lot. Like, I'm very, very weak. So please, like, Ros de cabeza, like, it's fun, but I'm very afraid. But I will do it, but I'm very afraid. So it's something I have to learn. Alicia, I love this photo. Oh my God. That was so fun with you and Mavi. Oh my God. Okay, guys. And then if that's everything, I'm going to end the webinar. And yeah, have a nice week. Please remember the things, the other webinars I talked about with Mundo Joven. I will send you a reminder. And that's it. Okay, guys. Good night. I love you all. You're all fucking awesome.